Okay, so first of all, if you've got a Google Gmail account, then you have got access to all the Google Apps of Education, okay? And they're up here on the side, and yours will look different to mine because I've ordered them. And today we're going to be looking at Google Classroom, which is just here, and we're going to be using Google Sheets, which helps us order all the assessment work that we're taking in. Okay, so Google Classroom's here. I've got mine up here. Okay, and what Google Classroom is a way that you can take in student work. Okay, so you can set up an assignments, and if I go back to home, okay, you can see up the top here on the screen. You can click plus and you can add a class. So whatever, it can be a year 9 class, a year 13 class, whatever you want. I also use it for my homeroom. These are all the classes that I have set up at the moment, and we even have a staff one set up, so our whole staff is a class where stuff can be sent out. Okay. Okay, so you go back to your email, and then up the top there's a little so Google Classroom is where we're in now. This one here. So if you go down to more, sometimes it comes up, or sometimes if you search just Google Classroom on Google or wherever you're searching, it'll come up as well, and you can sign in. And then if it's your first time doing it, it comes up with teacher, I think. You click on that, and then so that's Google Classroom. So when you set up a class, there's 2 ways that you can either find your kids on your network, or the best way that I do it is you put a code. Each class that you set up has an individual code, and then you come in the start of your first class, you put the code up on the whiteboard like it might be up here, and then you say it's a race to see which kids you've got in your class. So if I was making a new one, and this is my year 9 PE class, okay, and I've got my students that are all up here. These are the students that are in my class, and as they put the code in, when they go into Google Classroom, which they can do on their phones, they can do on their tablets, they can do on their laptops, anywhere they want, then all your kids will pop up on here, and then you can set assessments for them or send them emails. So basically, it's just a way of setting up an assessment that'll come in. Okay? Hi there. Right, the cool, and make sure you ask questions if you're unsure of anything. I know it's sort of a lot to take in. So you set up a class. So maybe if you're just starting out, a good thing to do today is choose a class that you're teaching at the moment, create the class, and then have a go. Okay, so we might hold it there. So setting up a class. Okay, right, so if we, I know there's a few, so for Google to work, so Google Education Tools, for our school at Green Bay College, every single kid has a Gmail email address, okay, every single teacher has a Gmail email address, so we can work in together. So if you've come along to learn about it today and your school doesn't have that, then obviously it's going to be very difficult for you to set up a classroom to find that. Okay, you can still take some stuff out of it, and I think it is quite easy for senior management, whoever it is, your principal, to log your school up to that or change your emails or whatever. But so yeah, so Google Classroom is just basic thinking. If you were all my class, okay, and normally I'd come out with the paper and I give you all your assessment sheets, okay, and you fill out your assessment, and then I walk around and then I take them all home and mark them and I hand them back out the next day. Google Classroom, instead of doing that, I'm flicking it all out to you via email, okay, and you can work on that, and then they're all in one place, okay, and then I can mark the work. And the thing, if I get time to show you Doctapus and Goobric, is I can mark it all that and email it out. So my PE department that I'm in this year, we decided that we're going, or I think it's 2017, all moderation is going to be online. So we thought, why are we spending, I think, $1,200 on printing and photocopying for our department, and we can just do everything online, even though we're a practical subject PE. So we decided to go into that. So single assessment that we do is on Google Classroom. Okay, if you're assessing them on something and it's a written form or video, then we're taking it in like that. Okay, so the cool thing, if you go back to your email, if you're one of the people, and I'm sorry if you can't log on, if you go back to your email address, and you'll have something called Drive, okay, which is where you can make folders of all your work, all your documents, okay, and this is my one that I have for my school, and I've got a folder. As soon as you make a classroom, a folder comes up called Classroom, okay, so when you go to that, every single class that you have in your classroom comes up there, and that's where the work goes once the students do it, okay. So for my Year 10 YPE class, okay, for their assessments, fitness and training, which comes up their books, I now can look at every single kid doing, so we go to the library, because some of the kids don't have computers and they're working on their assessment. I can see every single student's work at the same time. Okay, so I used to walk around and say, Bob, can you please get on with your work? And I used to look at their sheets of paper, and I used to do this kind of stuff all around the room. If you're working, you guys at the back are talking too much, can you go on with your work? And now, I can sit down, or I can be in a different room, Not that I do that, and I can see all their work. I can see them writing on it, and I actually write on their assignments. I can see you're not working. So I can see every single student's work at the same time. And I do that. I can sit at the couch at home, and I've set a homework assessment, and I can see every single person working. If nothing's happening, I know they're at home watching Home and Away and not doing their work. Okay? And I can see that. So it's live all the time. So that's the really good thing about Google Classroom. Yes?
So can you just go back to you were saying about your Drive? If you're on Google Classroom, it'll come up in Drive?
Yep. So Google Classroom, Google Drive, Google Sites are all different things. So it gets a bit confusing. Google Classroom is where you take in the assessments, and Google Drive is like your filing cabinet where you keep all your things. Okay, so Google Drive is your filing cabinet. Google Classroom is where all the assessments come in through that. You can ask me now if you want, but automatic. So it opens a folder called Classroom, and it should be there. Yep. So remember, just recapping. Okay, it's going to be information overload today, and that's why I'm videoing it. And there's lots of videos of this. The only reason I've started this year, and the only reason I know how to do it, is because I've just jumped on and watched videos from people that have done and kind of learnt as I go through. Okay, so basically, remember with Google Classroom, set up some classrooms. Start with one class. Okay, start with one assessment. This is the thing that I should have shown you, that I'll show you. Where's my classroom? Here we are. Okay, the other thing is assignments. So it's easy to set an assignment up like this. You put the title, you put the description of what it's called, and you can either go, if like you were saying, you've got your Drive with all your documents. You might have a Word document or a file, and you can go into your Drive and just upload it there. You can go into your computer, and it can be a blank piece of paper. You don't have to have anything too much set up. And then the main thing that you want to do, okay, let's do a sample one for me. So, assignment, I'll just call it A. I put it up. I go and find one of my files, so I go into my Drive, and where's something that I can find to use? Let's make something to do with PD. So I click on that, I add it. Can everyone see that? I'm adding it there. Then the most important thing, you have to put a date. So the calendar's there. Okay, you put the date in, you put the time. Sorry if I'm in your way. But the most important thing is, if you're not setting the assignment for one assignment for the whole class, like a group project, which you may do, is assigning it as one copy for all. Okay, and I'm not sure why that's not coming, but when you click on here, it says assign a copy for each student. Then when you go back to that folder, it'll have one of the assignments for every kid, and their names come up. You don't have to do anything. It's all through their email, so every single document will have their name, okay, and it will all come up. So if I go back to my Drive again, okay, and you can see here it's a bit small, but I've got about 30 of that document here. If I hover above their names, okay, that first one's Blake. If I hover above this one, that's Carlos Kerr on my class. That's Kaylee Lay. Every single, all the kids' work is there. Okay, so that's the basic thing of Google Classroom. Is if you're doing an assignment next week, put a blank sheet of paper on. If the kids have got access to Google Classroom, get them to sign in and do that. All the work's here. Okay, you're not saving it anywhere else. You're not uploading it. It's all there online. Okay. Is there any questions about Classroom? That's the basic level. There were other workshops today just on use Google Classroom. Yes?
How do you ensure that they're not copying each other's work?
Well, just I guess normal teaching practices. You know what I mean? You're there, and if we're a classroom here, then you can kind of tell if kids are obviously at home. like any other assignment. If they're doing homework at home, you're not there all the time. All it gives you a tool is you can see online what they're doing. So it's the same as any other work that you're doing. If you see assignments that are exactly the same as a teacher, then you kind of start thinking that, you know, something's up if they're copying off each other. So just, I guess, normal rules of teaching apply. You know what I mean? No, so they can't access any. It's set through their email. They can't see any other kids' work. It only goes to you. Yes.
Would you use it for a test? Like you have to have it in the class test. Would you use it for that?
There's a really cool thing on Google called Google Forms, which does really good quizzes that goes through, and all the information gets put into a spreadsheet for you. And there's also another add-on called Flubaroo, and that marks all the work for you. If you're doing multiple choice, it marks every single assignment, puts all the stats in a spreadsheet, and you don't have to do any of the marking. So I'd use that. Okay. So, is you guys right if I move on now? And then we're going to kind of move into what we're looking at for the... right, so my drive here again. So if I go back to my drive, as I was saying before, can everyone see that? This is my senior education folder. So some of the stuff I've moved out just because if the cloud falls down, you know what I mean, where all the stuff's stored, with moderation purposes, I've got nowhere else that my stuff's stored, you know what I mean? So I'm backing all my stuff up onto, you know, a hard drive, just in case, but I've put it all into one folder so I know moderation comes in. This is all my senior P stuff here. So I've got year 11s, year 12, year 13s, and it's broken down into all my assignment area, okay? So I'm not working with paper anymore. Now, I've just taken in an assignment called 3.2, which is my train to gain assignment. Okay, I've just taken that in. I'm wanting to mark it, so I'm going to go through that now and show you how to do it. Okay, for some of you here this is going to kind of blow your mind and be like, what's he going on about? But we're just going to go through it anyway. Okay, so I go back to my, well, the first thing that we need to do is I sent you guys out an email, is you put the add-ons in. Okay, so there's two add-ons. They're called Doctapus, which was on the front of the sheet, and there's one called Goobric. Okay, and if you are on Google now, you just type those things in. Doctapus, it's probably on your sheet, or Goobric. So I'll show you that now. So if I go to where are we? Doctapus add-on. Okay, then you click on that. And then there's a special thing with everything on Google where you can do add-ons. Okay, there's these extra things that are really cool. So I click on that. Okay, and it comes up here. There's a whole list of them. Okay, so later, if you've got spare time, you can go further down. And there's, not on this page, but there's all these things that you can use. Okay, and if you want to upload that, which if you want to work on this later, then you can. Then you click on install. Okay, mine says install because I've got it already. Okay, so if you want to have a go with that, click on that now and install it. It's all free and it just helps you out, and you're going to have this, and they kind of say it's called Doctapus, like an octopus, because there's like thousands of assignments coming in all the time. Instead of you using your hands to do it, the octopus on the computer is using all its hands. That's what it's. And the other one is called Goobric. Yep, so you can go and then you go add-on, same thing, Goobric, which is the two that we're using today. We click on that, and this is what I was talking about before, and you click add-on. Does anyone need help with that? So you just you type it in, it comes up on Google, you click add, and then it's added to your browser for Chrome. Yep, for this we have to use both of them at the same time. So you need both of them if we're going to do what we're doing today. Anyone need any help? Okay, so go on to the internet. So just search it. Goobric's up on the board there. I'll show you. Okay, half an hour left, so we need to keep moving. Okay, so you guys are all pretending that you're me. Remember, I'm videoing this to help you if you want. So my assignments all come in. My year 13s, I've been forcing them. I've been chasing them around at lunchtime to try and get their assignments finished. All the work's, I don't know how your students are, but that's how mine are. And they've handed all their work in. They've turned in on their classroom. So that's come in. Okay, the first thing I do is I go back to my email where everything is. Okay, remember up here it's this little, what's that box called that people spin around? Rubik's Cube. Yep, you click on that. And now we're going to use a different one I said before, and it's called Sheets. Okay, so I click on Sheets, and it comes up with a spreadsheet. Okay, and I need to do I need a new one. No. Okay, so I've done that a little bit wrong, right? So an easy way to do it is just going onto your drive, okay, back where we were before. So everyone knows the drive one, that little kind of triangle symbol. And then you click New, okay, and then it has a list, so you could make, if you're wanting to make a Google Doc, which is just like a Word document, do that. And we're going to go for Sheets, okay, and we get a new spreadsheet that comes up. Okay, if you have got that Goobric thing that we just added, you have this scary looking guy up the top with this weird kind of beady eye that's come up on your screen. So as a way to kind of check what's going on. Right, now what we do is we go to a thing called add-ons. Okay, so everyone see this now, so you click on add-ons. So any of the add-ons I click here, these are all the ones that I've downloaded lately. Okay, and the one that we're using today is called Doctapus. So I click on that to see what happens, and stuff should start happening on my computer. Launch, yep, launch. I don't know what's happening to mine. Launch, yep. Okay, then we start, then it says working. Hopefully the Wi-Fi is going to handle all of us, and then we just let it do its thing. Okay, and here comes the Doctapus, which is pretty cool. Okay, now, is anyone here can do that same thing as me? Has anyone got that on there? Oh, we've got a few people, that's good. Okay, so then we go select roster. Okay, so then I don't know what build new roster is, and it doesn't really interest me, but I want to ingest Google Classroom assignment. Okay, so I push that, and that's going to bring all my Google work that my year 13s have done come through. And now I'm going to select my class. Okay, these are all the classes that I've got in my school, and I did one last year, so I've got 2 year 13s, so I always get confused, so I've got to make sure that I've got the right one. I think it's this one. Okay, and does anyone remember what assignment I'm doing? Train to gain, yep, so I click on that one, and we'll see what happens. And this is pretty cool just itself. The first time I did it blew my mind. Hopefully it works. If we were at Green Bay College now, that already would have been up already, but because we're at Girls High, it's taking a long time. Yeah. Okay, has anyone else up any work come through that you're working? Okay, here we go. Some stuff's happening, stay with me. Okay, then it says here, found 9 turned in files for the assignment and 8 not turned in. Okay, so when the assignments come in, kids are supposed to click turn in. That means I've finished my work, so you know, and then it's supposed to kind of lock it so they can't add stuff on after. But I'm not going to click only ingest files. I'm going to hang on, just with the, I can't see because the screen's too. Okay, you can't see it on the screen, but down the bottom it says ingest assignment. Okay, just because when I put the projector on it makes the screen too small, and so I clicked ingest assignment, which means bring everything through. I've chosen the work that I want. Okay, it's spinning away now. Takes a while, it's bringing all those assignments in. Do you need help while it's loading? Okay, stay with me. Okay. Okay, so now stay with me, guys. And I know there's lots of questions and stuff, but we'll have some questions in the end. Only 23 minutes left. So, listening. Putting my teacher hat on. So, up the top there, I've got all my students in my Year 13 class. It's got the Bream Bay College email. Okay, it's got the file name, if you want to link it in. And now, I've got all their documents here. So before I had all these folders that were here. Now if I want to click on any of their work, I just click on these here, and it goes straight to their assignments, okay? All here. Then I've got information here about turned in or not turned in and the date that they were put on. Okay, so I've got all the work ready to go. Now, okay, I want to start marking. I've got all their work in one place that I've used, and now we use Goobric to do that. So I go up to that weird looking guy who looks like a minion, and I click on that. Oh. Okay, I did one step wrong there, sorry. So if I go back to add-ons, hopefully this works, and I get my Doctapus back. Okay, here it is here. Going off the screen. Yeah, I'll put it back up in a second. I don't just have enough room to. Okay, now we've finished the Doctapus part of it. And Goobric, does anyone kind of have an idea what Goobric does with the name of it? Makes a rubric, yep. Okay, so get rid of that. Yep, and some of you guys on there at the top on the Doctapus thing, it'll say about attaching a Goobric. Can any of you guys see that on there? I've just lost it on mine. Yep, so if you don't have an assignment or work to set up, then it won't. No, just. Okay, right, sorry. So, now, I made a mistake there. The next thing you need to do is attach a Goobric or a rubric. So, all of you, I guess most of you guys do senior teaching, and you know on all the achievement standards, we have those little boxes, okay, that have achieved, merit, excellence, and this is the criteria. If you wanted, if you're doing another assignment, you could set up a rubric however you wanted. So you might have, if you're doing English, you have all these different criterias, the introduction and the conclusion and all different things if you wanted, and then click on those boxes. For me, for PE, what we're marking is simple: not achieved, achieved, merit, excellence. Okay, so all I did was make a table, and it gives you example ones, and I took out what was in their rubric, and I went on to the achievement standard sheet, and I took the criteria and I pasted it in. I pasted in the merit, I pasted in the excellence, and I made one up for not achieved that was similar. Okay, so I've got the, so I click attach Goobric here. Okay, and then it goes back to find one, which hopefully is in my drive. So I'm going to go to my drive. I've got a folder because I've done a few lately, and I click on my drive, and it says click to select the spreadsheet from my drive. Okay, and I've got one, just to save time, already set up. And if I click okay, this is my rubric. So I select it, train to gain that I've put up there. Remember, it's just 3 squares. Okay, I attach it, and then something cool is going to happen in a second once we attach it. So remember, the steps are: you ingest all your work, it has the list of it, it's loaded up. Okay, I've got, now you can see, I don't know why it's yellow, but I've got my train to gain rubric that's come up here, so I know I've got my work, I've got the rubric that I'm going to mark against. Okay, and then I go up here to this guy. Sorry, I did one step early, and I click to that. Okay, and now this is all my kids' work in one place. Okay, so you've had a hard day, you've got a glass of wine, okay, you're sitting down with your work, it's all in one place. I don't have sheets and sheets of paper that are there, it's all on my computer. Okay, so when I want to decide, I have to be careful because this work I've already marked, so I don't want to write over the top of it and change the marks. Okay, but if I wanted to grade here, I can just go along the top when I've decided what grade it is, and I just click on that. If it's a not achieved, I click not achieved. If it's achieved, I click achieved. Okay? If I want to make a comment, which I do, about their work, what they could have done to improve, I write a comment in there. Okay? And that's all saved and can be. Just down the bottom here, it says email the scores to the student. Okay? For our school, or most schools, you have to moderate the work, so I can't send it straight away. Okay? But afterwards, then I could email them the work. I go down here, and this is all the assignments, okay, all their work that I'm going to mark, okay. I put comments on the side. Obviously, when you're normally, in the old days, I used to have a highlighter, and I'd sit there with go through my work and highlight it all. Now I highlight it all on the side. So this one's already been marked, so you probably can see, if I go down to the bottom, yeah, so I go through and I get down to my work. There we go. So there's some of the key things that I was looking for. I've highlighted in yellow, and then I've highlighted in green. And once I've saved that, that stays there right through, and the student can see that as well, but they can't edit it anymore. Then the other thing up here, which I think is pretty cool, I haven't used it. I get sick of writing because I'm a PE teacher. So if you're sitting on the couch at home, you could just record your comments so your students could listen to it. So you just say, Sarah, you're a bit lazy on your conclusion, you should have done more work, and that's recorded, and instead of writing, they can just listen to your feedback on their assignment. Okay? So you get how it works. Then next thing, so we go through, I don't know why that's yellow, but I just click the next student. That's all. I don't have to go into any new files. That'll pop up. I mark their one straight away. If it loads, okay, I've done that student, I click on it, I upload it, boom, next student, boom, straight through. They're all lined up in for my order, so it's less time, and I can get my assignments done. Okay, then, if I go back, so this is after it happened, so if I go back to my drive, this is what it's going to look like. This is the final copy after we have baked the cake. Hopefully. Now I've got too many copies because I've already marked it. So going back to my senior PE, I've done one that I've done already. So I go to my year 13s, we did Back to the Future, which is the first assignment. Okay, here's all my kids' work. Here's my moderation sheets. Okay, which I did at the start of the year. Waiting for it to pop up. This is the final thing, and now I share this with my other teachers in my department. Okay, so they can see all of that. There's some cool information that you can see on here. So I go over. Last time they edited it. So over here tells me when. So if I've got a kid that did it a week ago and he hasn't done any work, I can see the last time that he edited the form. Girls high. Then we go through. Okay, so if you wanted to do this, so you started off an assessment and you had 5 different times you could take it in, you could make comments on it, then they can work on it again. You can put comments on it, so it lists all that kind of stuff here. Okay, and then it should have the final grades here. Okay, so they're all listed there with the comments that you can see, and you can share that with too rough, sorry. Okay, and then I can't see it on my screen, but when I go over here, there's another panel that has the rubric scores here. Okay, so it has all the comments. and it has the grade here. And then my teacher, back in. Then all you want to do if you're doing moderation, you can click up here. So I've got this shared with two other teachers, Joe Main and Jenny Thornhill, both the other teachers in my department. Okay, so they're shared, and then I can just put in another column here called moderation. They can just, if they're at home, I've done all my marking, and then I just share it to them at their house. Then they look over my work, and they grade the same assignments, and they put their grades down in the moderation sheet all in one place. And then talking to our principal's nominee, then I can just take the link of the student work when I come through. I get called for moderation on this, then I just send all my work through. No bags of paper. I see those teachers around my school carrying those big bags of paper. These poor little old ladies carrying these big wads of paper around. Makes me feel sick carrying all that stuff around. No paper. $1,000 off your budget at the end of the year that you can be using for us, like better basketballs. Instead of the $10 ones, we can move up to $20 basketballs, that kind of stuff. Okay. So overall, bit of a confusing process. Okay, obviously you've got lots of questions, but in the end, you can take Google Classroom as the best thing I've ever done. It takes all your work in, it's in one place. Okay, kids aren't losing their stuff. Your kid in your classroom can be in Papua New Guinea if there's Wi-Fi. They can be at home. They can be in the classroom working on the same assignment. All the kids that go on holiday in my class, I'm like, have a good time, but make sure you do your work, because every resort has Wi-Fi and they have to do their work in hand. It doesn't matter where they are. Okay, in my year 11 PE class now, this is what they bring to class. No bag, no lunch. They've got Google Drive, they've got their science folder, they've got their PE folder. They do everything on there. When they're finished, they upload it. This is their school bag. No, they can't eat it. But once you get those pay things where you click in and then it pays for your lunch, you'll be able to get it. So, or you can 3D print your lunch, get your 3D printer out of your bag. So questions, we've got 8 minutes left. Does anyone want any questions about any of the thing we've covered today? I know it's been a pretty... maybe because they're trying to... what I'll do is I'll put it up on my page. So I'm listing here. Have you guys heard of Pond? They were talking about it before. And I'm on Pond, and I'll put the video up there. And then you can watch it out, because it's probably going to be too big, too much data to put into your emails. So you find me on that. The other cool thing, any PE teachers here, Twitter is like the best place to find cool stuff to see your work. So, not just PE teachers, but not PE teachers, any teachers, but good. There's lots of stuff, PE chat and PE geeks and all that kind of stuff, and your subject area, if you get on Twitter, there's so much stuff. We live out in the country where there's lots of cows, but I can still stay connected. And yeah, there's heaps of videos, so if you do get stuck, just like people here, it took me a long time and I made lots of mistakes, but then, yeah, honestly, if you go paperless, in 2017, if you haven't gone paperless and then you have to, it's going to be way harder if you start phasing in now, and it just makes life easier. And think about those trees and the environment and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, burn those textbooks, just joking. Yeah, any questions that I can help people with? Ask them now. I can come over and work with you. I'm here to help you. I know it's a lot of you probably got sore brains. Any help? Any help? No one? No problem. Not three things, one thing. Just do one thing. There's no rush. Just do one little thing and then get used to it and then do another. Yep. Yep, so you download the add-on as well. And that's if you use, have you used Google Forms? So you do a quiz with your kids, and then it puts it all into a spreadsheet, and then it marks. Then it marks all the work, and then it puts all the results there, so you don't have to mark it. You have to go in and do the test yourself and put all the right answers, like a sample one, and then it marks, and then it gives you 80%, 60%. You don't have to do any marking. So you see, well, you can click it, and then you can leave that. You could put all these assessments for the holidays, and then go on holiday, and then just let it do it, and then it'll send it out for you.
What are you using to record it?
Snagit of TechSmith, yeah. Our principal's really into it. Snagit's kind of like a short, for short videos, and then Camtasia's sort of, movie. It's not, no problem, more high, but yeah, Snagit. Just this little thing comes up, and then you can do images, videos. Yeah, look up TechSmith, and depends what your school. Because there's so many video editing kind of things now. But that's what I use, it makes it nice and easy. But yeah, all you do is, if you want to do an image, if it's working. That's one other stuff, but yeah, all you do is have that on your screen and whatever's happening, and then you can just send it to the clipboard. Not working too well with the Wi-Fi, but yeah, it's definitely handy. And then if something's happening, you can just make a quick video of it and then email it to the kids. You know what I mean? And then they can all feed it back after instead of you're getting all these emails. What did you say again? What did you say? I wasn't listening. I was still listening. Yeah. No, I think maybe add-ons. Yeah, add-ons are just on laptops and PCs, I think. Yeah, you should be. I think if you download it on your laptop, and then afterwards you can still go onto the sheets and look at it. But I think the work, when later, if you want to look at the work, you can look at it on here. No problem. When you set it up, so you have yeah. But you can look at it later, the entire. Yeah. I think because classrooms and app, all drives, you have apps all for them. But because add-ons are just little add-ons, then they only have it, for when you're working on your computer. They have it. Hopefully soon, you should be able to do that. But I don't think there's enough processing power in your phone. I know what you mean, but you know how you're bringing in all those assignments and putting them into the spreadsheet. So. Yeah, you can still see all your work, but it's just doing all the processing. Who knows? In 2 weeks, they're trying to make everything compatible. So. But I didn't try doing mine on my phone. I know it works on here, so that's why I do it on my computer. Yeah. If you got any questions, then you get many questions because I couldn't from my iPad. Lots of useful information in the technique. Yeah. Good. Yeah. We'll have to get in touch. Let's go with Taika. I think why it's quite good as well. But if you can take me through this, I'll come back to it. Have your kids got Gmail? They just got Gmail and Google Docs. Oh, perfect. The only things I do is it saves you how to get the physics stuff. I took and leaving the assignment person that will do can they do it on this? Google Form was a really good way to ask them questions. You know what I mean? So I'll show you. This is. Can you link
the students, say on NZQA, NZIP websites for past exam questions,
Yep.
can you bring those onto this?
Well, Google Sites is like you can make a site and then no problem. So this is my, so if I go to sites, this is my PE site. Okay, so I put all my exemplars on. This is my year 11s, year 12s, year 13s, and I put all my information. So if you wanted to have a class, I put everything on there and the kids can find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how do you attach or download past exam papers from NZQA?
So just download them onto your computer and then you can upload them. But sites is making websites, and so they're all for different things. Like Classrooms for taking the assignments in. Google Sites is a website where you're putting information out for the kids. So they all do different jobs. You know what I mean? They're all a little bit different. So the one I was telling you about before, Forms. Where is it? If I go to here and go to Forms. Oh no. So these are homework videos that I've done this year. So
Where did you learn about this from?
just off the internet.
Oh, okay. You're still young and you've got all the time to do it.
Yeah, I've got 3 kids, so
Only.
yeah. So, but
You still have the energy.
yeah. So you can put a video on, you know, about your topic, and then you can ask questions. No problem, guys. Thanks. And then those are the answers they have to put in. So these are the muscles in the body. The movie's all about the muscles.
Yeah.
They go through. They have to find out which muscles for homework, and then they put them in. And then this is on their email. So instead of giving them homework, they go home and check their email, and then they do it.
Okay.
So that's a way that you can question them.
Yeah. This is very handy. I like it.
It's good, and it's all in one place. That's the thing. Every kid that has a Google email has all of those things, all those apps to help them. No problem. You have a good day.
Don't mind if someone is visiting
No? Yeah? No, come in. Read my college real quick. Okay?
I've been there before,
Yep.
at least once. There's this guy who came to make a presentation to principals about management and things like that.
Yeah. They'll come in.
Yeah.
Make an appointment. We can work through some stuff. Good to meet you. So you've done 3 in a row. Same talk, different ones. Oh yeah.